Hello, guys. Um, Today is going to be a different kind of reaction. So recently, I had discovered a new Bible show called The Chosen, and I love the heck out of this show. Like, it is my favorite live action Bible show. Like, I haven't been this happy for a Bible show, animated or live action, since Superbook. This I love this show so much because it shows the more human side of Jesus, and how the writer for the show was an absolute godsend, because the way they did these stories and the way they introduced their characters and their backstories and personalities is just amazing. And how in some episodes they actually combined two or more Bible stories to tell one big overarching story. Like, that was genius. I love that show. Um, this show's on Amazon Prime. At least the first two seasons are. If you guys want to check it out, I highly recommend you do, because it's a really cool series. But anyway, um, so this part's called. Jeez, this video is called Matthew Being a Disaster for 3 minutes. So basically, me. So this one's the Apostle Matthew being absolute disaster for 3 minutes, seasons 1 and 2. All right, let's get it.
Brother, hold Matthew for a whole minute.
Thank you for your patience while I was on hiatus. Now back to the video. Enjoy. I remember this episode. Oh yeah, that's when he stepped in animal shit.
What did you do to yourself?
Only for him to get shit on his jacket in season 2.
That's disgusting.
Yes, it is.
Not put down your hay before lying down? No? Did you? Of course I did. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where are we going?
Bro, Matthew... bro. Yeah, one thing that I noticed in this show, Matthew had no clue where he was going. Like, anywhere, that whole show. Either that, he was always, even if he was standing still, he was always looking lost. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way his character was written, or if that's just unscripted mannerisms or what. But Paras Patel, the actor who plays him, you did a phenomenal job playing this character. And one of the funniest aspects of Matthew in this show is his mannerisms. Like, the way he be looking absolutely lost in this show cracks me up. Because I'm like, what? He's always, like, looking around at something. I'm like, what are you looking at? There's nothing there. Oh, my word. See what I mean?
Shalom.
That filter.
You're in the wrong place.
Oh, keep in mind, that guy right there is the Apostle Thomas.
Everyone is.
Bro, his snarkiness in this series is hilarious.
Ready? Good memory. So good to have you.
It's good to see you again, Daddy. You approached a strange home, and when the occupant answered, you said, I don't know you. Is that being rude?
Oops. Genuine question. Right. Got you there, Thomas. Curtain attack.
Samaritan beliefs are so at odds with you might want to trap Jesus.
Overstimulated.
I don't think you guys lost him for practically a whole day, Matthew said.
Matthew. Oh no, I look lost now.
That's Matthew. He checks the ravines for wood. Probably fishes in the desert, too. Good work, Matthew. Thank you. Will you?
Oh, is there someone please help him? Oh yeah, that scene right there. That was just too cute and too sad. I remember that. I just got there watching that episode a few hours ago. For that episode from season 2. That episode was basically it, it was like our first introduction to the apostles, Philip and Nathaniel. And Philip in the show is so chill. Like, I thought Andrew was chill when I first thought this. I mean, not thought this. First watched this, bro. Philip is so calm and so chill. Like he's the dude you want to have around. Yeah. And he was so nice to Matthew during the that first episode where he appeared. But I found that whole scene of like Philip teaching Matthew how to do manual labor for the first time was absolutely hilarious because Matthew had no clue what the heck he was doing. And I love that. Look at this. Look how he tries to trim that log.
If somebody asks you to tell a joke, tell them you have a vegetable joke.
But it was too corny. It's okay. We gonna be friends. No. So, oh. That part right there. It's like, damn it, you made me drop my notebook.
So what? Do we have to build one to eat? I was being facetious. Prophets among us who use God's words.
What kind of signal was that?
This guy is so irritating to me.
Listen, I heard that. Right? Bro.
I heard that.
Bro. Oh, this was another... This part was actually a very serious moment, but this part right here was hilarious because... Okay, for context... Yeah. There was a part where... I think it's one of the episodes of season 2. There was a part... hang on, where... Thomas and Matthew were like trying to prepare, I guess, I don't know, dinner or something for the Jesus and the rest of the disciples. But as they were cutting it, they heard like this weird, as you saw from the dinosaur, a weird screeching sound and like grumbling. Turns out it was from this demon possessed dude that was a little bit nearby where they were. And so both of them are get the freak scared out of them, and then they're like kind of paranoid, and so they grabbed something to defend themselves. Like Thomas grabs the knife that he was using to cut this cucumber that you see on screen and these lemons. And guess what Matthew fucking grabs? A wooden spoon. Right. 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 He grabbed a whole spoon. Thomas was like, what the hell are you going to do with that? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, I'm trying anything at this point. Alright, next we got Jesus being a comedian for 3 minutes. The Chosen seasons 1 and 2. Bro, I'm convinced. Ever since I watched Superbook, I was convinced that Jesus must have had a sense of humor. If we're all, like, created in the image of God, and, like, God made us who we are for a reason, not the bad in us, God's not responsible for that, but, like, all our good qualities and personalities that make us who we are, like, if we're a hilarious cat, then you know, if Jesus is basically God in human form, and Jesus had all the attributes of a human, then you know Jesus had to have some funny bone in his body somewhere. Like, there's no way that he created me and he didn't have a sense of humor. Like,
Oh, how shalt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine.
this part right here. Jesus being a funny guy compilation. Alright. He said, just do it.
Watch out for the frogs this time.
Frogs? Listen, I have so many questions.
Everyone here knows what you're thinking most of the time. It does not take God's wisdom.
Right, savage.
Simon is difficult enough if you want to travel with a worried Simon.
This is my lord.
Let us escort you, Rabbi.
He's like, I mean, if you want to. We ain't going very far. Just 2 feet across the room.
You better go back into town before it gets too late. Yes. You never know what sort of men may lay in wait alongside of the road.
This was savage.
Too soon?
Y'all have to see the episode to watch. I mean, to understand.
Always. Hey!
Oh, when Jesus was entertaining the kids, that was so cute.
Sheep don't sound like that. No more men.
This was hilarious conversation.
I cannot promise any of these things. But I cannot promise you won't stop breathing. But it sounds like we're clear on what we can and cannot promise.
That whole conversation with Quintus was hilarious.
By my dead grandmother. What in that way? You wanted to use the power of God to bring down fire
Fire.
to burn these people up.
He's like, you wanted me to rain down fire from heaven
Sounds a lot worse when you say it that way.
just because these people called you names? Serious dad mode activated.
Show me your weapon.
Oh, this. This threw me off and cracked me up.
Impressive.
Yeet.
Something.
I didn't think he was going to use that sound effect. Actually, I did see that coming too.
Come here and say, hey everyone, just keep doing what you've been doing for the last 1,000 years. It's been going so great.
Right?
Me too. Why did you do this on Shabbat? Sometimes you gotta stir up the water.
Hey. Alright, my man Jesus. Man, my man Jesus be delivering some of the coldest lines. Either cold as in those lines go hard, or cold as in, damn, Jesus, that was cold. My Lord Jesus don't hold back when it comes to these jokes. Alright, so this final one is called Mary and Matthew simping for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You know what? I thought those two had a crush on each other. Because, like, when I was watching season 2, like, okay, when I went to the Chosen's YouTube page and I saw their banner, it was like the Chosen profile. It's like it said the Chosen, and then it had all the characters in it. All the main characters in it. Basically, Jesus and his Chosen. I noticed a certain detail in their banners. Thomas stood next to his crush, Rama. Simon Peter was posed next to his wife, Eden. And Matthew was oddly posed next to Mary Magdalene. So I was like, if these guys are posted, I was like, if Thomas and Peter are posted next to their significant other, I was like, you mean to tell me Matthew and Mary got something going on? And then, like, as I watched more episodes from season 2, it clicked. I was like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm starting to see that spark in Matthew's eyes. Hang on, you getting a little dreamy eye from Mary. Hold up.
Mary, look for leeks, garlic, and onions. Okay?
Bro.
Mary, something wrong?
Nothing wrong.
You can tell, you can just watch and tell Matthew really likes Mary.
Can I borrow a tablet?
It's him. Oh no, I remember this from middle school.
I'm going to teach Raymond how to read. We want to study Torah.
That's what I want to do.
It's a date then.
I think he's waiting for us to be holy. And I think he's here because we can't be holy without him.
He said, whoa, she's so wise and smart. Wife material. I must write this down. This part right here cracked me up. Okay. So not only was I saying that this is the part where Matthew used like the wooden spoon to defend himself, but this whole part right here, it was kind of, we got to see the reason why, like Thomas and Matthew didn't really get along at first. Like Matthew just straight up asked him. He was like, "Why you?" He was like, "Why are you so rude to me?" And then Thomas explained, like, he was like, "Well, for one, you were kind of a traitor, since you used to be a tax collector for our people. That, you know, everybody hated tax collectors." He was like, two, he's like, you know, you can actually come across as pretty arrogant a lot. And Matthew was like, I'm not arrogant. I am extremely humble. And Thomas was like, see, you're doing, that right there. You're bragging on how humble you are. And then Matthew was like, oh, yeah, you're right. When Rayma had asked, and when Rayma and Mary asked Matthew, you know, could you teach us a little bit about the Torah, because, you know, they're not really versed in it, and, you know, Jewish customs, the Torah is the law of Moses. It was like the Jewish law or whatever. It's like the scroll they would read from in school. It was like how the Jewish folks should live and stuff before Jesus' time. And they had never read that before. And neither had Matthew. Never really, none of Mary, Rayma, and Matthew never really got the chance like the others had. And so Matthew was trying to study it for himself. That way he can teach Mary and Rayma. Because Rayma didn't know how to read or write. So whereas like Mary and Matthew could probably just like read it and study it for herself, poor Rayma wouldn't even know what she was looking at. And so Mary and Matthew were trying to study it the best they knew how for themselves. And so when Mary and Rayma went to Matthew to ask to borrow his writing tablet, and they had asked him, like, you know, you know, if you know of a good passage, can you send me some study notes, basically? And Matthew was like, sure, of course. Yeah. And he was especially eager because Mary asked him, but Thomas is jealous behind, thought, I mean, he saw this and then assumed, like, you know, because Rayma had asked Matthew, as well as Mary, keep in mind, he assumed, like, just because Rayma asked him, Matthew must have liked Rayma or something, but Matthew's like, no, nah, dude, no. and the whole time I was watching, I was like, this bitch is jealous, ain't he? I was like, this dude is jealous. He's got a little crush on Rayma. And it was kind of evident, like, the past few episodes. Like, since season 2 began, It was kind of evident that he did, but he's tried to deny his feelings like a few times, mostly from himself. Like he didn't want himself to believe it, so he would just shrug it off and just pretend like, oh yeah, we're good friends, you know what I mean? But you could tell deep down inside he loves Rama. So it just cracked me up when he got jealous over that, because I was like, boy, come on now. So the heck is he doing? Are you creeping?
It's not going well.
Look at his jealous.
Couldn't agree more.
Look at his jealous behind.
How frustrated Mary is. When she needs a pause to compose herself, she takes a drink of water.
And why are you watching Rema so closely?
I'm not watching her.
Oh, you're collecting Torah verses? You're donating your tablets? They're easy to get.
You like her?
I said, wait, who are you talking about now? Oh, shoot. I'm not prepared to face my feelings.
I checked the synagogue. The officials said they hadn't seen her. How did you describe her?
This part right here.
How would you? She's black. Black hair. Long black hair. All our women have long. Sometimes she can't even cover it all.
He said, wait, what's happening? Is this what I think is? Bro, when Peter noticed Matthew's little crush, that was hilarious.
Anything else?
Right.
Unusually pleasant to look at?
He said, you like her, don't you?
Excuse me?
You said, oh my gosh, Matt, don't. This right here.
Have you seen that woman with long, dark hair?
He said, why did Jesus make me do this? We gonna die. He's like, oh shit, Matthew done fucked us up, both up.
I do have faith in him.
This scene made me sad.
Just nothing.
I'm learning more about Torah and God because of you. I'm studying harder because you are such a great student. Rama is beginning to read and write because of you. He saved you to do all these things.
He said, oh, so cute. You're so nice. Oh no. Oh shit. And, yeah. Yep. That was gross.
It's alright.
Mary had a hangover. He's not What character development? Yeah, okay, I'll leave you two love birds alone. Aww. Thinking about how proud of her he is and how much he loves her. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Well, that was, we'll get to this episode another time. This skit, well, not skit, but like this compilation. I'll save this one for another video. But yeah, so that was some funny moments from The Chosen, which again is a really awesome Bible series. Oh wow, what the hell? 4 a.m. Alright. But yeah, this is a really awesome series to watch. Like, I'm so glad the Lord led me to this show. This show is genius. This show never fails to amaze me. The more I watch it, the more I'm in love with the show and invested in these characters. Because these characters are just the same ones from the Bible. I mean, there's some new ones that are introduced, or like some unnamed characters in the Bible actually have story development and lore significance. So, and hell, names. And so yeah, I like that. I like that. I love what they did with this show, and I'm so grateful for, God, most importantly, and you gotta give credit where it's due. But I'm so thankful to the cast and crew of this show for bringing these characters to life. there's other live action Bible stuff, but to me, this show gets it. Like the creator of this show knows what he's doing. He understands these characters, and he finds so many ways to make these characters relatable and interesting, and their personalities and everything is just freaking nuts. From Andrew and Philip, the chill, to Peter, who's ready to scrap a bitch almost every second, to James and John, the sons of thunder, to the mathematicians, Matthew and Thomas, and even the ladies in the show, Mary, Rama, Mother Mary, Mary the mother of Jesus, and even Tamar. Like, really cool characters. Really, really cool show. A 10 out of 10 Bible show. And just 10 out of 10 show, period. Like, even if you don't watch it, even if you're, like, not a Christian, or you don't have any religion at all, and even if you don't watch this for, like, religious purposes, and you're just watching the show because it's a good show, I can say I could see that. Because honestly, like, this, it's a good show when the message behind it, bro. The sign of a really good Bible show to me is when it's, because folks say that Bible shows can't be entertaining. They can't do too much, like Jesus, like my grandmother couldn't fathom the fact, like, when I showed her that, and they show the wedding feast at Cana and everybody's celebrating and Jesus and the other disciples dancing. She just couldn't fathom the fact that Jesus could dance, or that you would dance. But I'm like, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, that's what they did. That's what you do at weddings. You have fun. You have a good time. Of course they would have done that back then. There's nothing new under the sun. At least that's what the scripture says. So, everything that happens nowadays has happened before throughout history in one shape or form. And if Jesus is just God in human form, and he had all the attributes of said human, then of course Jesus would love to have fun. Matter of fact, he said, I gotta reread it just to make sure, but I believe he said that the kingdom of heaven is like one big wedding and feast. Everybody in there is united, singing, dancing, praising God, just being happy. Heaven is a happy place. Like, so why wouldn't Jesus, dance and sing and crack jokes and be human? And I feel like while a lot try their best, there's just a lot of these Bible shows just don't quite get it. I'd say the closest one before The Chosen, out of the live action Bible stuff, would be the show called The Bible from 2015. That show, I actually really like that show for a lot. Because it was really close, but just didn't quite hit it. And even what I call the Gospels series of movies, there's like a bunch of Bible movies called the Gospel of Mark, the Gospel of John, the Gospel of Luke's got like 23. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. And I think the Gospel of John's got 21, I think. So that, and the Gospel of Mark, I think, has 16. So the shortest movie would be Mark, but I feel like, but really, all of them are worth watching. I would just say, I wouldn't watch like two or there was like no way I could watch like all of them back to back, because it would take me like either a day and a half or like 2 days to watch all four back to back. But I do say they're worth it, and they're like the second closest thing that gets like mannerism wise to The Chosen. But I feel like The Chosen is a special show and a special case, you know, because something in there just clicks. Something in there, like, for you to have believers and non-believers alike, Christians and non-Christians, all agree. Like, I just found a comment earlier. I was just scrolling through the Chosen's YouTube page, and I was just reading all the different comments on certain clips, and there was one person that was like, they're like, man, I love this show. They're like, they weren't Christian. I believe they were were Buddhist, or was it Hindu or something? But they were like, you know, despite, you know, me not being a Christian, they're like, I do respect Jesus and the Christian faith, even though they're just not a part of it. And they're like, and they were like, how they loved how this show was so interesting, even for, you know, non-believers. And I love that too. You know, a Bible show is a good Bible show when believers and non-believers, Christians and non-Christian, people who watch the show for the biblical aspect of it, or people who just watch the show because it's a good show. But when you can all like agree and be united as one when you watch this show, and be like, you know, you may not be a Christian, but you respect like the story that they're trying to tell. You respect, you know, Jesus and the characters in it for who they are, even if you don't believe in him. Like, it's like, to me, a lot more people, when out of every Bible show I've ever seen, even Superbook, because to me Superbook was that way with like little kids shit, but for adults and older people who understand more, I feel like this show does a amazing job at simultaneously keeping it entertaining as well as getting the message across. Like, the Bible story and the I guess moral of the story that they're trying to tell. I love how they found a perfect way to balance that and the humor and entertainment part of the show. I'm just so amazed. Like, it amazes me to this day. And I like I said, I really want to give credit where it's due. Obviously, you gotta give credit to God, because he's the whole reason we have any of these shows in the first place. And Lord Jesus. But I gotta give credit to the cast and crew. Like, they're killing it so far. I heard that they're currently in the process of making season 4, which I didn't even know they have season. Making like 7 seasons of this. 7 seasons? Bro, you already know. I'm watching the whole thing. I don't care how long it goes. I don't care if it's 12 seasons, one for each disciple. Oh, they should probably do that. They should probably do that now that I think about it. But have have one season for each number of disciples. But I don't care how many seasons they make. I am binge watching this show because it is actually amazing. You all should really check it out. Like I said, even if you don't watch it for the biblical part of it, at least watch it because it's a great show. Just from the entertaining characters and the story and the plot of it all, and just how relatable the show is. Like even if you don't, like I said, even if you aren't Christian or you don't may or may not necessarily agree with the beliefs, with our beliefs, and or like you probably don't even know who the fuck these characters are. I will still say you will at least get something out of this. Like, you're either gonna get like a spiritual message that applies to you, or you're going to enjoy a really awesome TV show just for what it is. Or you're probably going to get a mix of both, like me. You're going to love the show for how entertaining it is, while also at the same time God's like, you know, giving you giving you a lesson from that. Like, you learn a lesson from that. I don't know, but that's all I want to say about the show. 10 out of 10 show. Nah, fuck that. 20 out of 10 show. Like I said, amazing work to all of it. And yeah, that was 3. I guess you could say clips and funny moments of The Chosen. I might react to more tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. It depends on how I feel at the moment. But I do want to thank you all for coming out here to watch this. I love you all. Really appreciate the support. You know, like and subscribe if you want. And yeah, God bless y'all. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.